Welcome back, guys, to Star League on Thursday night here live at the Nexon Arena. My name is Valdez. Joining with me today is our good friend Wolf. How are you doing?
I'm feeling good. It's always a pleasure to cast Challenger League. Haven't cast Challenger with you in quite some time. See our three Korean commentators. Now you can see the two of us here on the desk today.
Got a haircut.
It looks good.
For SSL, not for GSL yesterday. I wore my bad hair, and I came back and I got a good haircut.
That's how you do
fancy.
It. You gotta stay loyal here. To the new best tournament in the world.
the top players, the top 32 players going head to head. The best tournament in the world for sure.
Best tournament in the world. We're starting things off with a really great series, possibly one of the best of the night. Zest versus Bbyong. Not going to find that on that other stream tonight either, so stick around. You can multi-Twitch it or whatever, but as long as you're here, that's all that matters.
That would actually be so much fun. I would actually recommend that instead. Watch both. That's actually so much. If your computer can handle it. I know one of these streams doesn't offer the best quality, so you probably can handle it.
Yeah.
So you probably can go ahead and do that if you want.
Like if you want to, you can have us up here and look at our faces. And then you could just see like the handsome Tasis and Moonglade on the other stream. It's as Tasis put yesterday, a Claude Monet painting.
Monet painting.
You could do that. That's fine. Neither stream really have hit point bars, but at least you can see what's getting hit on over here without paying any money. The advertisements, though, if you want to avoid those, go to the Azuba stream. It's also got some nice quality there, too.
Yeah, definitely go ahead and do that, guys. Here we have the players. I have to get my bearings here, actually. This is a pretty interesting one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's the winners of each match. So Leonok won his match, and in turn, Hurricane Hero, Su, Sulky, and Trap have made it. And tonight, we're going to have Zest versus Bbyong, Losira versus Hyun, and then Classic versus Creator to end the night. And then tomorrow, we'll have the other three matches there at the bottom. And those are some pretty crazy matches, actually. We're getting some really good games over here in Challenger.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be amazing. I've got a lot to talk about Max Said. He's my boy from China. And this guy has...
Is he going to do Void Ray All-Ins?
He is literally the dirtiest Chinese player you'll ever meet. Like, he is going to do Void Ray All-Ins. He's probably going to proxy. In PvP, man, he might even do, like, a proxy Void Ray All-In.
He's going against parting, so if I were in his spot, I would do the same thing, even if I weren't a dirty player. As we mentioned before, here are the lineups for tonight. Zest versus Bbyong, I think, is the most exciting one here. So definitely tune into this one to start things off. We do get Losira versus Hyun there. That's going to be a pretty interesting ZVZ. Losira doing quite well, and Hyun manages to qualify.
Yeah, which was pretty impressive. I think it was a big upset to have Hyun here in this tournament. Hyun looking, a bit nervous today, I would say. He brought his own monitor to the studio. I didn't even know that was allowed, but he's got some really specific settings he's got to use, I guess. And
downloaded some map packs into the monitor. Let's hope the ref doesn't notice. And to end the night here, guys, we're going to have Classic versus Creator. That's a pretty interesting one because both these players are actually pretty good at PvP.
Yeah.
Classic recently able to take out Yonghwa in a PvP. Yonghwa also one of these PvP monsters, so that should be a good one because Creator, he was able to take out this guy a couple times in PvP. This guy is the Chisel Toss. He's Zest.
Yeah, this guy is, I would say, the favorite here going in this matchup. It's going to be a close one, but just look at his results. It's multi-time champion. Just won IEM 9, the World Championship there. Also made it to the round of 4 of the GSL Hot 6 Cup. IESF just trashed that tournament. Nobody even touched him. He didn't drop a single map.
It's pretty insane what this guy's been able to do. Big shout out to him and KT. He was falling off a little bit, especially with those two losses to Creator, but then he turned something on for that tournament, IEM, the World Championship. That was really just something that I did not expect out of him. And he's kind of rolling with that momentum, and I think he's, like you said, the favorite in this matchup.
Bbyong looking a little bit stressed out. Let's put some of his results up on screen here. Never a champion in StarCraft 2. He has had some tough times in Codes. You see he's fallen out of the round of 32 twice in a row last year, making it only to the round of 8 in the Hot 6 Cup. And last season fell out in the round of 32 as well of SSL. And did make it top 4 at IEM, which is very impressive. He had some insanely good games there and some really great TVPs. So this is why I think this could be the best matchup of the night.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like Zest.
He got seeded.
From Pro League.
From Pro League, yep.
as the Protoss seed, I guess. We weren't too 100% sure on, or do you know?
I know. So he was basically one of the top players for round 1. It was a lot more clear cut back then. Now it's like everyone is basically tied. But back then, at the end of round 1, he was one of the seeded players from there. So that's how he gets in. And I think it was top 4. And it looks like he was actually ranked number 1 at that time. And Zest didn't have the best Pro League ratio, but he still had enough wins at the end of round 1 to get that.
He played like 11 games or something. He was like 7-4, whereas Innovation was like 6-0, I think. And so that's why he did get that. Bbyong here, he did get through the crazy hard qualifiers you guys see down there. He actually beat SOS to get out in first place. He also beat MC, Penguin, SKT. And going into the maps now, guys, the vetoes here. For Zest, it's Merry-Go-Round. No surprise there at all. Definitely not a Protoss map. We want to get rid of that one. And then Expedition Lost from Bbyong.
We don't have Cactus Valley vetoed. I was saying this a lot yesterday on stream when I was streaming, that I was thinking like Cactus Valley probably going to be vetoed in every single SSL match this week as well. But actually, it's not. So I know the map fairly well because I've been playing it in Legacy of the Void beta. It's in the map pool currently, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. But I think this is the first time we're seeing Cactus Valley in a real StarCraft 2 Pro Circuit tournament, so that's going to be exciting. We're going to see it no matter what.
Yeah, the thing that surprises me here is that Bbyong doesn't ban Deadwing. That's pretty much like the standard ban against Protoss, you know, for both Zergs and Terrans. Like, sometimes Zergs are okay on it, but usually it's in general known as a Protoss map, just because of how easy it is to get 3 bases, even 4 bases after that. And a Protoss on 3 or 4 bases is pretty strong.
That it is. And we'll see what he's got planned on that should we get to that map. It's a very good point, though, that you bring it up.
Guys, the first map here is going to be King Sejong Station. This is match 7 going into set number 1 between these two monsters. It's going to be a big PvT here to start the day off. Make sure you're telling your friends to tune into this one. It's going to be pretty exciting, guys. I think we're about to jump into that game right now. Let's do it. Down here in the bottom right in the blue, Protoss player from KT Rolster, he is Zest.
Chisel toss, very handsome. And his opponent, top left in red. It's Bbyong for CJ Entis. And his little Carbot star there, his decal. This is my favorite map in the pool. And I don't think that's ever going to change until it's removed. I just love this map.
Yeah, it's been around for so long. Me and Tasteless yesterday were joking it's like the grandfather of all the maps. This and Overgrowth, you know? 2 really good maps that have just stayed for so long because they're so good, but like we said yesterday, like it can't stay forever. Eventually it is going to have to be cycled out here. I do like the addition of both Expedition Lost and Bonnie Research Station. I think both of those maps are really good. So far, Cactus Valley, I think we need to see more of it.
Yeah.
Saw an interesting PvZ yesterday between Ragnarok and Deer, where Deer just went for that kind of a Blink, Stalker, Sentry +2 push, and it was kind of interesting. The Zerg can come from many different sides, but at the same time, there's a lot of choke points, and it's pretty easy for the Protoss to put on that pressure.
Yeah. Now on this map, we see almost every Terran go for Widowmine drops. We're seeing Widowmine drops of different variations, different forms. The distance by air is quite short. Here's GSL code S Season 4. You can see when Zest was a Royal Rotor.
Season 4, or was that Season 1?
Oh, I thought it said Season 4. I don't know where I saw the 4, but...
I thought I saw a 4, too. The season in Korean looked like a 4.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of confusing me, too.
Yeah, because we don't have 4 seasons anymore. Just the hotel, but...
yeah. Good hotel.
Good hotel.
Yeah.
So, just taking a look at this game so far, we do have a Reaper opening first, so it's not like some sort of crazy rushed factory ability is going to scout. We do see proxies are insanely popular on this map. Protoss love to proxy Stargates. We do oftentimes, every now and then see the Hidden Dark Shrine, or even Hidden Blink Tech is something you see every now and then on this map because Blink is so strong here. So it's important to have a Reaper, I feel, if you want to play safe. And we may see a proxy out of this SCV even. He could just be checking, though.
I don't know. I think this is going to be a proxy.
It looks like it.
That's like that standard spot, man. And Zest, he didn't actually cast that SCV out on the map, so he doesn't know about this at all. And I wonder if he's just not going to get that scout on. It's going to come a little bit faster than he's expecting, and that can get a bit dangerous. Bbyong now coming in with his first Reaper. He's going to see the Nexus here. He's going to know exactly what kind of build this is. Very standard out of Zest.
Yep. I'm going to check and see if you saw that third pylon. I thought the observer was about to do it all. He did
Wolf's
not.
on the case.
He didn't see it, so that's somewhat alarming, actually. That's a pretty standard pylon location because it's going to spot the Reaper jumping up on that little ice cliff thing that sticks out.
Cliff, ledge.
Chin, whatever. But yeah, so now he's got to be a bit, concerned because he hasn't seen the third pylon, but he's more concerned about his own attack rather than defending. He's going to kind of do this build no matter what, and this build can catch off somebody who's doing it all in or hiding something. And here comes that Reaper in again. He gets shut down, though.
Yep, still doesn't see it. I'm worried here for Zest. He hasn't put down any tech just yet, and I think he's definitely going to want that robotics tech just to be safe.
And there it is. He starts it now.
Okay.
Still,
Thankfully for Zest.
This is certainly going to do some damage. The question is how much. How well does he split? This is one of those drops, like one of those attacks where this is a good build because it's going to do something no matter what. Unless you just totally screw up your control, this is going to do some damage.
Yeah. I mean, even if it doesn't get that many probes, maybe like one probe, it's going to force a big pull. And that's where actually a lot of the damage comes from, disrupting that mining.
Yeah. And we have seen players panic and make mistakes, and then you get like all this bonus damage.
Creator.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you get like 5 kills off of something like this, that's like way too much.
Yeah. You get the big pull and 5 kills, and then you come in and you do it again. The game essentially ends. A very powerful unit, the Widowmine. And these two Stalkers out on the map.
All right,
May not be expecting it to come from this angle.
Exactly. He's definitely not expecting that. The Reaper comes over here to distract these units. At the same time, here comes that drop, that spotter pylon, very useful here as well. There's one Stalker, not even close to enough here. He's going to need to pull those probes, and he does immediately. Great pulls here. Bbyong going to let them go off.
Only gets 1, actually. Doesn't even get the 1 in the gas, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how that works. Like, does it escape into the gas and just
it dodges
die?
It dodges the same way like a Blink Stalker would dodge a Widowmine shot.
Whoa.
So in that moment, when a worker goes into the gas, it's untargetable by anything, as far as I can tell.
So, I mean, I don't know. That's not the most damage there. Just 1 probe gets down. I feel like Zest pretty much held this off for now. Doesn't look like Bbyong's coming in for another one. I think that medevac is down behind the main base.
Yeah, it is. And it's coming back in for another pass right now. He's going to drop it in. And let's see what he gets done this time. Targeted. And gets a Stalker. That's okay. Saves the second Widowmine.
Yeah, and a big pull here, actually.
Yeah,
Looks like Zest dealt with 1 more over at the natural. So
that's the kind of the damage that you want to get done, right? Like, the first time you could tell, like, Bbyong was thinking about just not triggering them and picking up again, then landing them again because he wasn't sure if there was an observer out. He decided to leave them there instead and just didn't get what he wanted.
Lots of tech coming out of Zest now. He puts down the Forge, Twilight Council, and the Robotics Bay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for Bbyong, he is getting all that biotech up as well. Now he's starting his stim and his combat shields at the same time off 2 tech labs he just made at the same time, as well as starting that +1 at the eBay. And he's going to have a very large Marauder count very soon, and it looks like he wants to do that as kind of his follow-up pressure to hit a 3rd base that Zest is going to be looking to take here pretty soon.
I don't know. I feel like Zest is in a pretty good spot. You know what I mean? He could just stick here on 2 base, get that tech up, get his upgrades. It looks like he's just playing very, very standard Protoss, like kind of the type of thing you would see out of Rain. I think it's a good way to just play the first game, just very standard save. Get that robotics tech up, not really try to do anything a little freaky deaky, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no
some blink on this map, you know, you get caught out, you lose all your probes in mineral line. Those kind of games can be exhausting, they can be tilting. And something we've been seeing a lot these days in best of 5s are players going for that kind of, very aggressive style or some kind of cheese in the first game because they want to tilt their opponent. But this time, both players just trying to do something a little bit standard. I mean, Bbyong's thing was a proxy, of course, but it's pretty much standard for the map at this point. Like, we always see this, even if it's not proxied.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the 2 players is probably going to proxy something anyways. Like, proxies are just so common on this map because the map has so many good places to hide, and you know your opponent's spawning location no matter what, so you can rush it out. I want to point out that Zest has made 4 observers. He maybe even made a 5th one. Now, just stick him with 4 at this point. He's got a ton of good coverage here. He's got His mineral line's covered. He's got detection. He's got that cannon, which was also able to deter another one of those Widow Mine drops we saw just a second ago. So he's playing very defensively, like you said. You know, why be aggressive when you don't have to be? Just going to sit back, turtle up, get your gateways up, get your power up. Now you can add the second forge. Now you've warded off this pressure. You can take the third base. Because remember what I was saying earlier, Bbyong is like gearing up to hit this third base with this Marauder count he's built with Stim and Combat Shields. The timing lines up. He gets there. There's no third base because Zest was playing safe.
Yeah.
And now he could take that third
Nothing
base.
to punish, basically. And because of just powering up a ton of bio, he had a pretty low number of medevacs for a long while. Our observer pointing that out to us. Actually pretty on point. He's only now getting that medevac count out, and he's getting medevacs while there's already 2 Colossi out on the map. He's going to get the third one here now, and he's not really going to have the Viking count to deal with this.
Yeah.
Zest is going to have a pretty good composition against what Bbyong has here in about a couple of minutes once this third Colossus comes out.
Yeah, that's actually pretty alarming. With the blink he has as well, he's going to have all that extra flexibility with the Stalkers to catch a small Viking count out and catch medevacs. Something I want to point out, though, supply-wise, because of all the tech that Zest is doing off of just 2 bases, he's actually pretty small on Army. Like, his Army, even though it's going to have good upgrades, he spent a lot of money on cannons. He even made 4 cannons here. He is down on workers as well. Bbyong has 3 Harvester lead plus mules, and this is still a heavy Marauder count, so he needs to be very careful with his control right now.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that we actually saw that was pretty interesting, more additions of Widow Mines. He actually got a reactor on the factory. He's making up to 6 now. So going very heavy with this. I'm not sure if he's just going to go for drops with this or if he's going to just fight straight up. It looks like drops for now.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, theory crap with me here for a second. I feel like those cannons are actually Viking deterrents. Those 4 cannons right there are actually supposed to stop Vikings from getting a side swipe on the Colossi when he attacks the natural. But there just simply aren't any Vikings on the map.
Actually, I didn't think about that. That actually could be what that's for.
I mean,
why are you going to make 3 cannons right there on the edge? You know, it's like almost too safe, or 4 cannons rather.
Well, it shuts down drops too. Look at this. I can't believe he's even going to commit to this.
Whoa.
The Nexus cannon as well. The Zealots are here. He's going to lose so much if he targets those medevacs with the cannons.
Widow Mine shot gets off and he gets 6 probes here. But at the end of the day, was that worth it? I think this drop no, he's got a lot of Colossi over here. So Zest should be totally fine to deal with that. And he's dealing with this army over here at the same time. That Colossus has to back off, though. It was pretty close.
So 6 probe kills in total, but he's not done yet. Going to come into the main base here. Just needs to make sure he doesn't actually overcommit to these drops. We see a lot of Terran players that get a huge lead like this, and instead of sticking with the ground army and hitting bases hard and doing small drops, they do big drops and don't get a whole lot done, and the bases remain, and the Protoss, who spent all this money on tech, just continues to get further ahead.
Yeah, that drop was 100% not worth it. He lost like 2 medevacs and all that bio on the Widow Mines for like 1 Stalker. You know what I mean? I feel like Bbyong just has to kind of calm down right now. I know, like you're saying, they kind of do get tunnel visions here because the Terran does have to punish the Protoss at some point. Like, he does have to do damage, but he's just not finding it. Zest is just really on point. I think Bbyong should have taken a little book out of a little page out of Maru's book here. If you remember that thrashing that Maru gave to Zest on this map, actually with just Widow Mines. Looks like Zest has really practiced against that style, and the answer is a bunch of cannons, a buttload of cannons.
Yeah, a ton of cannons, just helping out in every way. Against the Widow Mines, against the medevacs, against, Vikings, should he attack with Vikings at that angle. I feel like Bbyong's advantage would have led it very nicely into actually perhaps a pull the boys type push if he had gone for an earlier second starport, or even maybe, oh god, he's going to lose more here.
Man.
Or even just maybe some ground-based pressure with light drops of Widow Mines. But the way he did this, because Zest has 4 observers on the map and all these extra cannons, these drops just aren't accomplishing much. He's going to go for another big drop here, but boom, spotted by a pylon, 5 medevacs. You can bet he's going to turn his army around and chase this down.
Yeah, even like a warp prism there at the same time. Probably going out for a drop of his own, but also spotting. Zest looking just so on point with his defense today. Like, if you're trying to learn how to defend against Terran drops, this is how you do it. Like, take a note from this game. Look at this even.
Well, that was cute. Is he even going to try to attack his own hallucination to kill that?
What?
Whoa.
That was cool, man. That was
scanned.
pretty
He's like,
cool.
he didn't have an observer. He's like,
how do you do that?
He's mad, man. He's like, what? I swear I killed that obs. He checks. He's like, there wasn't one. He's probably confused because he's doing a million other things right now with his, 250 plus APM.
Yeah, I don't think he was watching that like we were, to say the least.
DT is coming out here now. He's going to have to scan for those. He gets a lucky scan here, man. Gets all of them with 1 scan. That was pretty huge. That's an expensive investment. But even still, with these upgrades and no Vikings still, the Colossi can zone the Widowmines out, and he's never going to be able to contest with this bio. And oh god, what are these drops doing here? Stalkers check, and then he blinks up the rest.
Not the greatest blink, though. And not a lot of Stalkers fighting against Marauders. A decent trade here, actually, for Bbyong. Taking out a lot of these Stalkers.
Especially because he has the ground army attacking the base. Meanwhile, this is finally... See, this is the type of dropping I like to see, where there's a ground army punishing movements on the map.
And a lot of Colossi out here. They don't have a lot of support. Coming in here now, the Marauders targeting down one, trying to get the second one. But there's just too many Stalkers here. And now the blink coming in.
Look at the supplies here. Bbyong is just way overcommitting. He's actually like grasping at straws at this point. Like, look at the resources lost here. This is what I'm talking about, overdropping. When you commit to drops this much, you just simply end up throwing your advantage away.
He should have just gotten that base and backed off or something, because that was just 100% not worth it. And now we have a huge counterattack coming his way. Like you said before, he has no Vikings. He's just playing without Vikings. Like, at some point, this just doesn't work. I mean, he's trying to use Widowmines instead, but like, how many Colossi are out on the map right now? There's 5 Colossi, and this is because Zest realized, like, oh, you're just not making Vikings.
Yeah, and in fact, he's making Ghosts, which is not the answer here either.
Yeah, I saw Bbyong make 2 extra starports, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's finally going to transition, but this is way too late. Like, the army is right on his doorstep already. This is a nice little cute drop, but his main is just being thrashed at the same time.
Recall, too, once he kills his base. I don't even think he will, but he has that opportunity. He has that option. I mean, these Ghosts get a few decent EMPs here, but this is just too much siege damage. Even the Observers got naked by that EMP, but they're still going to be fine. Get back to their cloaking. Time Warp goes down. That game was a great opening by Bbyong. Really, really well practiced. Great game, but he kept dropping instead of using ground armies to pick off base. We saw him use it, like that pick off of the 4th base. Great move. Chasing the Colossi with that many Blink Stalkers with better upgrades than you, when you don't have any armor for your medevacs. I mean, they're just going to get picked off so fast.
And I still just don't understand. I don't understand that composition, man. I'm not really sure what he was trying to go for there. It was obvious that he was substituting Vikings for Widowmines, and he had a lot of them, but they just never really did much. Like, not even in the subsequent drops that came after the original one. There was one time he got like 6 probes. That was pretty much it, you know. Well,
when you're playing against Joe Schmo Barcode on the ladder, like he's gonna
Joe Schmo
Barcode, man. When you play against Joe Schmo Barcode on the ladder, he's GM. He's actually like top 50 GM, but he's not a pro gamer, and he's gonna go to qualifiers with Barcode name and never qualify for SSL. Yeah. But when you play against that guy, he's gonna die. He's gonna lose a lot of units to Widowmines scattered across the map. But Zest has 4 Observers, and he's killing Widowmines with hallucinations. That style is not gonna work against him.
Bbyong's gotta switch something up here. I think he's just gotta play more standard. I think we're going into Cactus Valley.